A man on death row could walk free. Why the High Court has overturned his conviction.
It's finally available in Kern County, a new service to fight mail theft. How you can track your letters before they hit the mailbox.
A third explosion in Austin, Texas, hours after a package bomb kills a teenager. The second deadly delivery this month. The citywide warning now in effect.
Live in high definition from KBAK TV in Bakersfield. This is Eyewitness News at 5.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rochelle Murcia.
And I'm Dave Gonzalez. In a shocking ruling today, a convicted killer may walk free after spending more than 2 decades in prison.
Up until this morning, Vicente Benavides was on death row. In the early 90s, he was found guilty of sexually assaulting and killing a little girl in Delano. Eyewitness News reporter Kristen Powers tells us what new evidence is making the High Court second guess that. Kristen?
Yeah, David and Rochelle, this is rare. Today, the California Supreme Court overturned the murder conviction of Vicente Benavides, citing false evidence. Key witnesses from his trial 20-some years ago are now backtracking on their word, saying they do not believe the toddler's deadly injuries were caused by rape. About 25 years ago, Vincent Benavides was convicted of sexually assaulting and killing a 21-month-old girl named Consuelo Verdugo. But new evidence, or lack thereof, is putting that into question. Monday, the California Supreme Court making a life-changing ruling.
The judgment of conviction is vacated in its entirety. So we're back at ground zero.
Kyle Humphrey is a local defense attorney. He says after all these years on death row, this full reversal puts Benavides back to where he was before the trial.
He's presumed innocent, and he's entitled to a trial to determine whether he did anything at all.
The High Court citing false evidence for why they're overturning the conviction. Documents show multiple county doctors that testified at trial saying the little girl was raped are now saying that didn't happen and the cause of death is wrong. So why did they give false information? Those doctors say they were not given her full medical records or the autopsy report before taking the stand. But now, after reviewing all records, they do not believe the girl was sexually assaulted. Doctors say her injuries could have been caused by a kick or punch to the abdomen, or can be attributed to medical intervention when she was being treated at the hospital. With this new information, the case now returns to the Kern County District Attorney's Office. The DA will need to decide whether to retry Benavides or not.
It's going to be very difficult for them to put a case together, and no matter what you do, there's going to be the cloud of suspicion as to why particular evidence was not reviewed by the experts.
Now, after today's ruling is officially filed, the DA's office tells me they have 60 days to decide if they're going to take action or not. For example, going after Benavides for second-degree murder. The DA's office is expected to comment on this case later this week. Reporting in studio, I'm Kristen Powers, Eyewitness News. Back to you.
All right, Kristen. Wednesday will mark 1 month since the shooting in Parkland, Florida, which left 17 people dead, and the country looking for some answers. President Trump has now unveiled his response.
Yeah, it's a 3-part plan, which includes starting a school safety commission headed up by Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. Our national correspondent Christine Frizzell reports this comes as Congress appears to be at a stalemate on the matter.
In the days following the deadly shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, there seemed to be passion and will for change on Capitol Hill.
It's our chance to show the nation that we refuse to accept shootings at schools and churches as the new normal.
Let's talk about expanding background checks.
I'm willing to look at everything on the table.
But nearly 1 month later, there's been lots of looking and little action on guns or school safety by Congress.
Will we have a vote on this anytime soon?
You know, we're going to press for a vote. We're going to do everything we can to put obstacles in the path of people who wish to do others harm with guns.
The White House just released its proposal to improve school safety. It includes a Department of Justice-led plan to fund and train teachers and other school officials who wish to be armed on campuses.
The hope here is that this will deter attackers, that the presence of armed personnel on campuses is going to deter individuals who may want to engage in a terrible act of a school shooting.
Outside of Washington, businesses like Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart have changed their policies, and Florida lawmakers passed a sweeping statewide law banning bump stocks and raising the minimum age to buy guns to 21. The action elsewhere highlighting the stalemate in Washington.
So I'm afraid it may not happen in Washington until after the November election.
I think the young people in Parkland and students around the country are not losing their momentum. They are going to be a driving force in moving the Congress.
For now, Congress has yet to move on school safety or other big issues like immigration, and on the verge of yet another government shutdown in just a few weeks. In Washington, I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
Protests are underway in San Diego ahead of President Trump's visit to the U.S.-Mexico border there. He plans to inspect 30-foot-high prototypes for a future border wall, which was a centerpiece of his campaign. A farmer who spoke to the Associated Press says that daily commuters from Mexico account for half his workforce. He says that workers can make more in an hour here in the U.S. than they would make in a whole day in Mexico. Meanwhile, Governor Brown sent a letter to the president today. He's inviting him to the Central Valley, and he mentioned the hundreds of jobs created by the high-speed rail in Fresno and Madera.
Meantime, California's Attorney General also wants to send the president a message. Javier Becerra says President Trump should consider all the positive attributes California has to offer before making a big change that could affect the lives of people who live in the state. Becerra says California is a trailblazer leading a path that opens doors for other states. Many critics counter Becerra's view and say big changes are needed to save the state. California is currently ranked among the lowest when it comes to K-12 education. Watchdogs say families struggle to make ends meet in a state with sky-high taxes.
After a year-long investigation, the House Intelligence Committee has concluded its investigation and found no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. During the year-long investigation, the committee conducted 73 witness interviews and reviewed more than 300,000 documents. Texas Congressman Mike Conaway says he expects to share his report with Democrats tomorrow. They will review the findings before the information is made public, which could take weeks. The Democrats, though, are expected to publish their own report with much different findings.
Well, had a little bit of everything out there, sun and clouds. Let's turn things over to Miles Musio after kind of a rainy weekend. Hi, Miles.
It's a potpourri, Rochelle. We've had all sorts of stuff over the weekend. We had anywhere from about 1,500 to about a half inch of rain here in the valley, up in the mountains to the south, up to 3/4 of an inch. And now we have more rain on the way. You can see it to the south and west of us right now. Here it comes. It's making its way up into the Santa Barbara area. And the models actually don't give us a whole lot of precipitation. You can see maybe a sprinkle right there late the evening going into the overnight time frame. Most of that rain will be tomorrow. This is another system tomorrow, and that's a much better system that will be coming through with a chance for rain. Down to the south and west of us, a flash flood watch. We're talking about the San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara County, not here. And off to the north, it is all about winter storms and lots of heavy snow that'll be falling in the Sierra. We got clouds right now. As mentioned, it's a smorgasbord of weather. Currently 78 degrees, a beautiful afternoon. Feels great. And you can kind of tell the humidity is up a little bit. Feels like a semi-tropical air mass. We're in the 70s here in the valley, 50s and 60s in the Kern County Mountains, and 72 in the Lake Isabella area. Here comes that two-part system we have. The moisture coming in from the southwest, then colder air coming in from the west. That will impact our weather later on this week. 78 currently outside, and we've got temperatures forecast in the 60s for most of the evening with about a 20% chance for a sprinkle. Nothing significant. 30% up in the mountains. A very mild day there, or mild evening, and looks like there's a slight chance for rain, but nothing substantial this evening. We will see some substantial rain later on. I'll tell you when that's going to be coming in just a few minutes. David and Rochelle, back to you.
All right, Miles. It won't help prevent mail theft, but it may help you avoid becoming a victim.
Reporter Kyle Harvey joins us with a new service from the post office that could make your life a little easier. Kyle.
Well, Dave and Michelle, more and more of us have those community mailboxes, either a short walk from your front door or something that you drive by on your way home, but not everyone gets to the box every day. That's something the Postal Service says is a problem. Potential solution to that mail theft problem is called informed delivery. It's something that was introduced about a year ago, but now it's available to most residential customers in all of the Bakersfield zip codes. It's free to sign up for, and the Postal Service will send you a peek at what's going to be in your mail. How do they do this? They already scan all letter-sized mail as a part of their sorting process. Now they'll just be sending you a copy of what they scanned for your address. You'll get a series of black and white images you see there. It'll involve the label side of every envelope. It'll be delivered to your email box or the smartphone app every morning. And if something doesn't arrive, there's a link in the email to report it. So the process of finding your mail or identifying a mail theft problem starts a little quicker.
If you know you're having a check coming in the mail that day or important business documents, you're more likely to go out and pick up your mail as soon as you get home, or as soon as you know the mail's there, rather than leave that mail languishing in your box.
So if you want to get this, go to USPS.com, click that Informed Delivery tab in the upper right corner to create your free account. Now, we wouldn't recommend something to you that we hadn't tried ourselves. I got the app today, didn't have any mail, but one of our producers did and received exactly what was advertised. One final note to add here, your magazines are not included, at least not yet. The scans are only of the letter-sized mail. You can also track your packages and even give some custom instructions for delivery through that postal account that you created for Informed Delivery. Live in studio, Kyle Harvey, Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Kyle. Expect some delays if you're driving on Truxtun Avenue this evening, starting at 7 o'clock tonight. One of the two lanes will be closed, I should say. This is headed westbound between the 99 Bridge and Oak Street. Crews are relocating some fiber optic lines in that area. One lane will be open while the work is underway. All lanes will be reopened by the morning commute, but this work will be done from 7 p.m. to 5 in the morning every day for the rest of this week.
Boxes are blowing up in Texas. A teen killed just today. The warning coming from police and the FBI.
Can you come back? Mommy missing you.
A teen in Pennsylvania goes missing with her friend's dad. Why that relationship might not be so innocent.
And all kinds of weather we've had already. We're going to be seeing all this week. We're going to be turning much cooler, and that's going to have some impact on the grapevine later on this week. We'll tell you when that's going to happen and the possibility of thunderstorms, when that might be. Coming up.
Following segment is sponsored by St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Well, how would you like to win free groceries for a year? Well, that prize is up for grabs now if you reserve your ticket for the St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. You just need to reserve your ticket before April 13th. That's the new deadline. Not only can you win a John Ball fan's home worth $400,000, you also qualify for a chance to win groceries for a year. That's valued at $5,000. So reserve your ticket for $100 by calling that number on your screen or visit any Kern School Federal Credit Union. Remember, your money is helping save the lives of children battling cancer. The homes and all the other prizes will be given away right here on Eyewitness News on April 26th.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Miles Museum.
Well, we are into a wet pattern. We had some rain on Saturday, a good part of the day. A lot of it was sprinkles, but we did have some significant rain in a few parts. Taft picked up over ½ an inch. Arvin did as well. And up in the mountains, 3/4 of an inch down to the south. And now we have more clouds coming in. And it's been a semi-tropical kind of feel to it. The humidity has definitely been up. Right now we're at 78 degrees. This will be the warmest day of the next many. It's going to only get cooler from here. You can see the clouds coming in from the southwest after a pretty nice beginning to the day. And this is the first in a series of systems that will be coming through. We'll have a little bit of evening light rain, nothing too terrible, generally minor precipitation. And then we'll see tonight and really tomorrow is when this is going to happen. We'll see up to a 1/4 inch of rain in some spots. In the mountains we can see up to a ½ inch. That's tomorrow primarily. And then there'll be a little bit of a break after that. We'll see some rain possibly on Wednesday late. There are a couple of little systems here, and they're little innocuous systems, but the next big storm will come up on Friday, going into Saturday with a possibility of some thunder and also much lower snow levels could be impacting the passes. And I say that with stuff like this. We're nearly 80 degrees today. You can see up in the mountains, nearly 70 degrees in Tehachapi. So get ready. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts. We're going to be turning much cooler by the end of this week. Here we are on Monday, beautiful weather. By Friday, it's going to be much cooler. So 78 right now in town, and the temperature's way up from yesterday by about 11 degrees, and the humidity is up too. The dew points are up into the 50s, and so, as I said, you can kind of feel there's some moisture in the air. Here comes a little trough right here, which is coming up from the southwest, and this is some moisture here, but the blue arrow over here and the blue cold front means colder air is coming, so give it another couple of days. We'll be seeing significantly cooler air. Here again, this big low pressure system is coming into our area. It's It's interacting a little bit with all of this tropical moisture down here, but the big thing will be the cooler weather. In fact, you can first see the tropical moisture as we go through tomorrow. Here's 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and this is a plume of moisture coming right up into central California. It begins to move on out after that. Here's what it looks like. We'll be seeing a little bit of light precipitation tonight, perhaps, maybe not. And if we do, it'll be just sprinkles. And then tomorrow, a little bit better chance for precipitation. It lasts for a little while there. And then as we go into Wednesday, we'll be looking at another system coming up. Here you can see the Wednesday precipitation, and going into Thursday, lower snow levels. So there's a chance for precipitation literally every day. Here comes Friday. There'll be a big low pressure system that'll come on through with the chance for some thunderstorms. We're dry after that for a while until we get to next week, and there'll be another chance for precipitation. Can you believe it? It's all good news. 807 inches, what the computer model thinks through tomorrow early, and then we go into, here we're up to Thursday now, but then once we get into Friday and Saturday, we start to see some significant amounts of precipitation, especially up to the north. Look at Fresno, and of course the mountains to the east of Fresno will be looking at tremendous amounts of precipitation. More rain for us. Here it is. You can see 2,800 of an inch of rain as we push through the end of the week, about a half inch or so. So it's all good news, because you know as well as I, we need the rain. 56 for a low tonight, a few light showers. Highs tomorrow about 72 degrees. In the mountains, we're dropping into the 40s tonight with a 50% chance of light showers. 70% tomorrow, mainly light. Up in the Lake Isabella area, 49 tonight. Highs tomorrow about 67 degrees with a chance for a little bit of light rain, nothing too heavy. And 52 in the Mojave area tonight. Highs tomorrow about 70 degrees with a light shower there as well. Here's the next few days. We got a chance for rain every day, but once we get into Friday and beyond, it looks like a pretty good chance for rain, especially for St. Patrick's Day coming up, and snow possibly by late Friday and Saturday. In the meantime, just a chance for a little bit of light shower activity. Again, nothing too terribly heavy for the next 48 hours.
All righty then. We like it. Happening right now, there's a traffic slowdown going on right now on State Route 58. CHP says that there is a 5-vehicle accident underway. This has been going on for last hour or so. Accident happened near Union. It looks like traffic is backed up all the way to the 99. It's a live picture you're looking at, so you might want to avoid that area. Again, that's the 58. Traffic backed up all the way to the 99. Not a good place to be right now.
Tuition hikes could be on the way for California students. What schools are doing to keep that from happening? A potential serial bomber is targeting people in Austin, Texas. Police linked a deadly package bombing this morning with one earlier this month, and now they are responding to a third explosion. Lou Young reports from New York.
Austin police, along with FBI and ATF agents, rushed from the scene of a deadly package bombing Monday to a second explosion in a neighborhood 5 miles away. A 75-year-old woman was seriously injured when she picked up a package in front of her house.
This is the third in what we believe to be related incidents that have occurred over the past 10 days.
The morning blast killed a 17-year-old boy and injured another woman.
It was just a loud boom.
Neighbors heard the first explosion at 6:44 a.m. Police say someone in the house brought a package in from the front doorstep. When it was opened in the kitchen, it killed the teenager and injured the woman.
Next thing I knew was the police were knocking at the door saying that there was a suspicious package. One had exploded and that I needed to leave the house. They were evacuating the entire neighborhood.
Austin police are linking Monday's incidents to a package explosion March 2nd that killed a 39-year-old man.
It's not time to panic, but it's time to be vigilant, and it's time to pay attention. It's time to pull together as a city and a community and solve this.
Investigators are scrutinizing everything the cases have in common.
We do not have a specific victimology or ideology that we have identified.
Police say the packages appear to have been left on the doorsteps and were not delivered through the mail or other shipping services. They're canvassing the neighborhoods for all security camera footage that could hold clues to who left the bombs. Lou Young, CBS News.
Some breaking news to tell you about here. Kern County Commissioner now says that Charles Manson's body should be given to his grandson. That ruling made just a short time ago. It states that Jason Freeman is the closest living relative to Charles Manson. Several other people, you might recall, were also fighting for the remains. The decision comes after months of legal hearings following Manson's death back in November. Eyewitness News reporter Kyle Harvey will have much more on this breaking story coming up at the top of our 6 o'clock newscast. Right now, crews are still on the scene of a 5-alarm fire that's burning in Portland. It started as a scrapyard fire and quickly spread to surrounding homes and buildings. Firefighters evacuated the surrounding neighborhoods, including a school there. Anyone living within a mile radius being asked to shelter in place over air quality concerns. Several homes have been destroyed. There are no reports of any injuries or deaths, but we understand that about 16 cats perished in the fire.
The mother of a missing 16-year-old Pennsylvania girl is pleading for her safe return. Police believe Amy Yu ran off 1 week ago with the father of one of her friends, Kevin Easterly. The 45-year-old is allegedly in a relationship with the high school senior. Investigators say Amy had listed Easterly as her stepfather on school records, and police say he signed her out of school as many as 10 times without her mother's permission. Now Amy's mom is begging for her daughter's return.
I won't tell her, Amy, can you come back to me? I love you. I just hope you come back. Amy, can you come back? Mommy missing you.
The two were last seen on March 5th. Easterly's wife told investigators he withdrew about $4,000 from her account that same day.
Federal investigation underway into what caused a deadly helicopter crash in New York City. Earlier today, the crews lifted that chopper wreckage from the river, slammed into the water on the east side of Manhattan. 5 passengers, all wearing tight harnesses, were not able to free themselves. They died. Officials say that the water at the time of the crash was below 40 degrees.
It took a while for the divers to get these people out. They worked very quickly, as fast as they could.
The pilot survived. He's recovering. Right now, investigators are looking at what may have caused the crash, including the chopper's maintenance history.
The jury has been selected in the trial of the Orlando nightclub shooter's wife. Noor Salman is facing federal charges of obstruction and providing material support to a terrorist organization. Prosecutors say she knew in advance that her husband, Omar Mateen, planned to carry out his attack on June 20 in 2016. He killed 49 people. Prosecutors say Salman misled investigators after the attack, and they plan to argue that she could have tipped off police about Mateen's plans. But defense attorneys say Salman was in an abusive marriage and had no idea what Mateen was up to. Salman's trial gets underway Wednesday. She faces life in prison if convicted.
The date has been set now for that military parade ordered by the president earlier this year. $30 million parade will be held Veterans Day. It will feature historic uniforms and a military flyover, but it will not have tanks because of concerns that the heavy vehicles would damage the streets of Washington, D.C. Coming up here, Veterans Center is still recovering after a hostage situation last week. What we're learning now about the suspect's background.
And parents are taking action after their eggs and embryos are damaged at a fertility clinic. Now another hospital has experienced a similar incident right here in California.
Busy weekend here for law officers with multiple shootings, and they're now under investigation. This morning, a murder suspect behind bars, but the search continues for another man wanted in connection with the deadly drive-by shooting. Friday afternoon shooting left 1 man dead, 2 others hurt. Yesterday, Bakersfield police staked out an apartment complex on Cheatham Avenue. They were looking for 22-year-old Trayvon Lee Foreman. After a search of the complex, he was not found. Earlier in the day, police arrested 21-year-old Anthony Michael Gage for his alleged involvement in that shooting.
And police are also searching for the person who shot a man in East Bakersfield. Officials say it happened yesterday afternoon around 3 on Augusta Street. Officers found a man who had been shot. He was then taken to the hospital with minor injuries. If you have any information that could help in this case, give the BPD a call.
As police continue their search to find the person who killed a little boy in a drive-by shooting last year, the community stopped to remember him. Mayor Go named Sunday Kaysen Guyton Day. Kaysen was killed February 23rd of last year. Since Kaysen's murder, police and other agencies have launched several successful gang sweeps, arresting dozens of suspected gang members. Police believe that the West Side Crips are responsible for the shooting. Investigators say they did pick up a person of interest in the gang raids, but so far no one has been charged in Kaysen's murder. Police say that someone in the community knows who did it. They urge people to come forward.
UC and CSU officials are threatening to raise tuition if they do not get more money from the state. It's an ongoing battle between public universities and the legislature, but lawmakers say it's students that are getting caught in the crossfire. A bipartisan group of lawmakers joined California students at the Capitol today, calling for more money for education. Lawmakers say California is currently enjoying a large budget surplus and can afford to give the universities what they want.
Because we have to live up to what the master plan of the state of California says, that if you're a California resident, education is free. And if we can graduate more individuals, we're going to be more competitive on the world stage, but more importantly in the United States.
The CSU system is asking for $171 million more, while UC officials are requesting an additional $105 million. School officials are expected to take up proposals on raising tuition at each system later this spring.
We now know that a 36-year-old man who police say killed 3 women at a Napa County veterans home was recently kicked out of that facility. Investigators say that Albert Wong previously made a violent threat against one of the women that he took hostage. Investigators say that he was a former Army rifleman. He spent several years as a client at the Pathway home following his deployment to Afghanistan. Police say that Wong went to the home on Friday, slipped into a going-away party for 2 employees. Wong was found dead after an hours-long standoff.
A second fertility center is reporting a malfunction that jeopardized embryos. This time, it was right here in California. The Pacific Fertility Center in San Francisco says a cryo storage tank lost liquid nitrogen back on March 4th. The eggs and embryos inside may no longer be viable. The center is contacting patients about the malfunction. That same weekend, University Hospital's fertility clinic in Cleveland experienced something similar. Temperatures in a freezer dropped, compromising about 2,000 eggs and embryos. This morning, the first lawsuit was filed against the clinic in Cleveland.
At least 50 people have been killed. More are injured or missing after a plane crash-landed in the airport in Kathmandu, Nepal. Terry Okita tells us what the witnesses saw.
Nepalese emergency crews searched the crash site of the U.S. Bangla Airlines plane looking for any possible survivors. Rescuers had to cut apart the mangled wreckage to save more than a dozen people. Some were rushed to the hospital with injuries. The twin propeller plane took off from Bangladesh's capital city of Dhaka. Witnesses say the Bombardier Dash 8, which had 71 people on board, swerved, crashed, and burst into flames as it landed at Nepal's Kathmandu airport. This man says there was smoke and explosions, and then it came down. Officials say the plane circled the airport twice as it waited for clearance to land. One witness saw the plane flying so low, she thought it would hit the nearby Himalayan mountains. Several airliners have crashed or had accidents at Kathmandu's airport because of the mountainous terrain. Investigators are factoring that in as they look into what caused this disaster. Terry Okita, CBS News, London.
And now for an update on terrorism activity from around the world. For the latest, we turn to Lindsay Mastis.
From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is addressing terrorism during his 5-nation diplomatic trip to Africa. During a visit to Kenya, he laid a wreath at the site of the 1998 bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi. He then traveled to Chad, where he discussed the possibility of lifting the travel ban against the country, calling them an important partner in the fight against terrorism. In Iraq, we are getting a grim look at the devastating toll the fight against ISIS took in the city of Raqqa. The Daily Beast is reporting that 2,000 civilians lost their lives in the fighting, and fatalities are continuing because of ISIS-rigged explosives left behind. 80% of Raqqa is uninhabitable. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he in fact gave the order to shoot down a jet he feared was hijacked and targeting the Sochi Olympics in 2014. The Turkish airline flight was on its way from Istanbul to Ukraine. The order was canceled after it turned out to be a false alarm. From the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington, I'm Lindsay Mastis.
It's a new type of service popping up at barbershops in Los Angeles. How it's helping its customers' health.
And daylight savings and your health. Why today is a special day and how you can celebrate.
And if you like rain, you can celebrate. We do have rain on radar. You can see it down here to the southwest. It is moving in our direction. Will you need an umbrella tonight? That's the question. I'll have the answer to that coming up.
Now, your Weather Authority forecast with Miles Museum.
There is rain on radar. You can see it out to the west of us right now. It is moving in our direction, and it's nothing particular particularly heavy, but you probably will later on this evening need an umbrella just in case some of these showers hit where you are. Down to the south, especially if you're going to the Los Angeles area, anywhere along the 101, you can see rain moving in there as well. And you can see the clouds coming in. The sun came up this morning. It was beautiful. In fact, it was a pretty nice day yesterday. Now the sun is going down an hour later. That's just great. Here comes some clouds, some mid-level clouds as well, high-level clouds, and pretty soon there'll be some low-level clouds too. 78 degrees right now outside. And we do, to the south and west of us, have a flash flood watch for portions of San Luis Obispo, Ventura, and Santa Barbara County. That does not include our area. Off to the north, we're looking at this next big change toward colder weather, and we're looking at some significant snow. In fact, big changes. We could see 4 to 5 feet of snow in the high Sierra over the next 7 days. Right now, we are running between about 35 and 45% of normal snowpack. That could go way up over the next week, and we certainly hope it does. Plus, this is the La Mancha forecast. The La Mancha forecast, by the way, takes sea surface temperature anomaly patterns and forecast the weather based on that. And you can see we're in a wet pattern. These are months down here in days, and as we go into April, we're going to see a very definite change toward drier bias going into the second half of springtime. Should be very, very dry. So if we're going to get any precipitation, it's going to happen now, the way it's looking. 78 degrees currently, and it's a beautiful afternoon. Nice evening shaping up. High temperatures today. We're in the 70s all the way from Red Bluff. Look at San Francisco up to 70 degrees, and then down to the south, a little bit cooler there, but very, very pleasant weather, no doubt. And here is that first little push of a little bit of light precipitation. There's the cold air over there, which is going to be coming in. And as I mentioned last week, we were going to be looking at the East Coast for the 1, 2, 3 punch, and here it is. It looks like another chance for snow in the New York to Boston area. Here's the low pressure system, which is developing right around Raleigh right now, snowing in Raleigh, and some thunderstorms down along the Cape Hatteras area. But off to the north, we're looking at a chance for some more significant snow, Boston, southern New England. Let's take a look at it as we go through the next couple of days. There it is, snow. All the blue here from New York all the way up to Boston. So this will be the third significant snow, although this one doesn't appear to be quite as heavy as the last one. But this is 3 weeks, 3 snowstorms, and not only that, they're going to continue to see very cold air and with more snow. If you're going to the northeast, get ready for some pretty cold conditions. For us, once again, there's a chance for a little bit of light sprinkle activity tonight, a better chance for showers tomorrow. Here comes another little area of moisture moving through. And then as we go beyond that, we'll be looking at another chance for rain coming up late on Wednesday. Air quality is going to be good tomorrow. The next day we have pretty good air out there. For tonight, we're looking at temperatures dropping to around 56 degrees, a mild evening, some sprinkles possible, so you'll need to prepare for that. And tomorrow, some light rain by midday, about 0.05 to maybe a quarter of an inch of rain is a D in the museometer. And we're looking at temperatures that will be still pretty mild tomorrow, but then a definite trend toward cooler weather. And by St. Patrick's Day, only 59 for a high. And a chance for rain really every day. In the Kern Mountains, about a 70% chance tomorrow, but much cooler going into Friday and Saturday. There could be a thunderstorm around, and snow levels down to 3,500 feet by Saturday morning. And there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow there on Saturday in the Kern River Valley, but cooler. It's a cool pot of gold.
It's a cool pot of gold. Very good. Thank you, Miles. And as the rain moves in this week, don't forget you can always send us your pictures of the weather. It's easy. Just go to Bakersfield Now app and under the Explore tab, hit See It, Send It.
Actress Rose McGowan is facing a felony drug charge. Why the judge won't throw out the case and why the actress says she's being targeted.
And baseball season right around the corner. Facebook is helping you get ready.
A trip to the barber could mean more than just a haircut. A new study finds it can also cut high blood pressure rates in African American men. Daniel Nottingham reports from Los Angeles.
Mark Sims never thought a haircut would turn into a wake-up call for his health when his barber convinced him to let him check his blood pressure.
It was 175 over 125, which was stroke bound.
Owner Eric Muhammad took part in a study to see if barbershops could help African American men get their blood pressure under control.
If we can just save one life, I think it's a win.
Black men in particular have the highest high blood pressure related death rate
of any group in the United States.
Dr. Ronald Victor of Cedars-Sinai Medical Center led the research that looked at more than 300 African-American men at 52 Los Angeles barbershops. The study found the men who had their pressure checked, then met with a pharmacist at the shop for treatment, saw their top blood pressure number drop nearly 30 points after 6 months.
That'll help a lot in terms of the number of heart attacks and strokes that could be prevented.
The study was so successful here in Los Angeles, researchers want to expand the program to other barbershops across the country.
Mark is now on medication and he's adopted healthier habits.
I've stopped smoking. I started exercising every day, and I changed my diet.
And Eric has found a permanent place for the blood pressure machine in his barber shop. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Wearable devices track just about everything these days, from your steps to your sleep. A team from Cleveland Clinic wanted to find out how accurate the readings are for a new smartwatch technology designed to detect and diagnose atrial fibrillation. It's a common problem where the heart beats erratically. After looking at 100 people with that condition, they found the smart device detected it 93% of the time. But it did fire off some misdiagnoses, so patients using that device should keep in close contact with their doctors. You can read that full study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology.
Well, if you're feeling sluggish after losing that hour of sleep over the weekend, you are in luck. Today is National Napping Day, so it is the perfect time to catch up. Experts say a quick way to unwind before a good nap is to simply shut off your screens, including your phone. Just 20 minutes gets you into what's called a stage 2 nap, ideal to enhance motor skills and attention. Doctors say anything more than 90 minutes, though, could make you groggy.
A new study alleges poor sleep and the risk of dementia go hand in hand. The journal JAMA Neurology looked at people 70 years old and older. It shows that when cognitively normal people are excessively sleepy in the daytime, it leads to a buildup of plaque in the brain. Depositing plaque in the brain tissue is the first known preclinical stage of Alzheimer's disease. It happens well before any obvious symptoms of dementia begin. Experts say that the connection between sleep and dementia is worrisome. According to the CDC, 1 in 3 Americans don't get enough sleep.
Target is recalling 30,000 pairs of jeans. Customers say the pants were cutting them. The recall applies to Cat and Jack girls' star-studded skinny jeans. Both legs feature metal stars, which customers say could bend and cut the person wearing them. Customers can return the jeans to Target for a full refund.
Facebook is now teaming up with Major League Baseball. Social media site will now broadcast 25 MLB games this year. The exclusive streaming deal makes it the first time that MLB sold the rights for games appearing only on a digital platform. Broadcast will also have interactive elements tailored for viewers on computers and mobile devices. The first exclusive game will feature the Philadelphia Phillies and the New York Mets.
A judge in Virginia has refused to dismiss the felony drug charge against actress Rose McGowan. Prosecutors say cocaine was found in a wallet McGowan left behind on a plane at Dulles International Airport in January of last year. McGowan's lawyers contend the drugs may have been planted by someone working for Harvey Weinstein. McGowan has accused the disgraced movie mogul of sexual assault.
Black Panther is pouncing on its box office competitors these days. The film is #1 for the 4th straight weekend. It's the first Marvel movie ever to accomplish that feat. And worldwide, the film has now topped the $1 billion mark. Black Panther is the first movie to do that since 2015's Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
It is March Madness. Greg will join us next with Look at Sports. We'll be right back.
Now, Eyewitness News Sports with Craig Kerr.
Everywhere I go, I see brackets. Everyone filling out brackets.
I tell you what, brackets and racket. I tell you what, I'm going to come through your TV screen on this. I tell you, it's driving me nuts so much. Oklahoma, if you took their name off the front of their jersey and said this team's lost 11 of the last 15, they wouldn't get in.
And no Oklahoma
But
State.
because they've put Trae Young out there for everybody to watch and see for 4 months, got to put him in.
Big draw.
That's garbage. That's not just all of it. So how do you like the brackets, by the way? If you're a mid-major, probably not real happy. If you're an average team which pays rent in a big conference, you're probably overjoyed. When is the last time you saw Syracuse and Oklahoma players literally jumping for joy that they got in the tournament, which is usually a given? And why? Because they know, like the most of us, they're lucky to be there. The Midwest region is crazy. TCU, they were the last unbeaten team in the nation. They finished with 11 losses down the stretch. Welcome aboard. Arizona State, 9th in the Pac-12, is in, but USC, 2nd in the same league, is not. I'll just let you think about that. Syracuse, just go look at their non-conference schedule, which includes Colgate, Cornell, and Eastern Michigan. Enough said there. Oklahoma, they lost 11 of the last 15 games. Pays to have friends in high places. Notre Dame, playing without their best player, beat Syracuse at Syracuse. That player is back, by the way. Oh yeah, the Irish are in the NIT.
I'm heartbroken, and it wasn't unexpected. Once I saw Davidson win today, I was very realistic what could be coming. And our guys, after a season of gut punches, that was yet another gut punch today. But I have prepared them for the NIT the last month. We were very realistic about how this could go, given where we were in our resume and the whole bit. And so, kids are amazingly resilient.
Yeah, and Oklahoma State beat Kansas twice, and Oklahoma twice. They're not in. Well, he did it again. Bakersfield's Kevin Harvick, with wins in Atlanta and Las Vegas, heading to his favorite track in Phoenix to make it 3 in a row. And this one was special. By the way, he has 40 career wins, 9 of them here. This was special because Harvick and his team were penalized 7 playoff points, and his crew chief was fined, his car guy suspended for post-race violations last week. Harvick and his team heard the noise all week long.
Just really proud of everybody. After everything this week, everybody just came here just mad, chip on their shoulder, wanting to do exactly what we did today. And that's the type of determination and grit that you want in a race team. And it's there's nothing better to be a part of than something like that, because actions speak a whole lot louder than all the words that I can say this week and tweets that you can send out. The parking that thing in Victory Lane is the most powerful thing, most powerful message that you can send, and says the most about our organization and our team.
All right, meanwhile, in the NFL, Richard Sherman apparently wanted to stay in the NFC West so he could play Seattle twice. Cut by the Seahawks, he signs with the 49ers. Miami Dolphins continue to dump more high-priced talent, parting ways with Ndamukong Suh. Tiger Woods may not be back, but he's getting pretty darn close, isn't he? Valspar Championship, here he is on the 17th. This is a long birdie putt, and he drains it. He's just a shot back going to the 18th. In fact, on the 18th, he's going to get a look for a share of the lead. However, this one's going to come up a couple feet short. Paul Casey wins by a shot over Tiger Woods. I would say he's getting some, recognition.
Yeah.
They got him at 10-1 now at the Masters. He was 100-1.
Wow, that's good. All right. Thank you, Greg. We'll be right back.